Hey gardeners, it's Katie, and today, Monday, April 21st, is my area's average last frost date. Yay! I'm a little excited. I've been waiting for this day since November, December, I don't know, you name it, since the end of last season. I know that no magic switch will get flipped and that I'm guaranteed no frost, but it kind of feels like a little bit of a guarantee. Our 2 week forecast is looking pretty good. We've got highs in the 70s, 75s, and the lows are in the 50s, 55s. So that's pretty much the spring sweet spot, if you ask me. It just makes me so happy to know that the cold crap is probably behind us. My favorite season used to be fall, but the more years that I've gardened, I'm pretty sure now spring is my new favorite season. It's awesome. Do you remember Bambi when everyone was Twitter pated? That's kind of what it feels like. Green is returning. There's fresh air. It's warm. You can go outside. You don't have to be stuck inside. Spring cleaning projects can begin. Cool thing I like is the perennials that I worry about all winter that I planted. Are they going to come back? Are they not? Are they okay? Are they not? You get to see them come back, and I love that part about spring. The garden centers are opening up, so it's time to go blow all my money on plants at the garden center. Haven't been yet, but I will be soon. Probably my favorite part about spring is that it's time now to put into action all my winter dreams and plans for my garden, and I'm pretty pumped about that. Spring things that we're doing. I harvested all of the tulips that I planted. This was the first year that I planted tulips with the intention of cutting them, not for garden prettiness. I bought 100 and planted them, and we've been harvesting off of them, and it was really fun to give. There's a wasp, and he has a friend. Anyways, tulips. It was fun to make bouquets and give them away. I didn't sell any. Hopefully in the future that will be the plan, but this was just to give away, and it was fun. I made a couple of bouquets and had them inside for us to look at as well, and I can't wait to grow more next year. Also, we have potted up our baby Lysianthus. I started those on January 14th, which is actually about 2 or 3 weeks later than I wanted to, originally intended to. Had I guess a lazy winter. It just got a really late start. But they finally outgrew their soil blocks, so we bumped them up into these new trays that I got from Bootstrap Farmer that has the slits in the sides, so the roots can air prune. So it's not your typical seed cell tray that the roots can wrap around in. So I'm extra nerdy, super excited about that. But I got the Lysianthus babies potted up into 2 of those cell trays, and they're actually over here soaking up the sun. So those will go on the ground probably pretty soon. And I don't know if you know, but Lysianthus are notoriously hard to start from seed. In fact, if you are a serious flower farmer, most likely you buy plugs that were grown somewhere else. You don't mess around with starting your own seeds, because they take 12 to 16 weeks. Don't quote me on that, but it's a long dang time, and so much can go wrong. I think I started around 200, and even if 30 of them made it into the ground, I would be proud of myself and super excited. And so far, I filled up the 72 cell trays with Lysianthus, so doing pretty good this year. We've also been moving all of our seed babies from the basement in and out. Started them out in the greenhouse. We had a couple of days that were really rainy and crappy, and so they spent some time in the greenhouse, and now they're actually over here on the concrete. They're hardening off, and we'll be getting those in the ground pretty soon. It's always exciting. Also been starting cleanup. We have an area back here, I call it the ground garden, because it's literally ground where we garden. It's not in a raised bed. It's an area at the base of a hill in our backyard that I actually unearthed one year. I thought this will be a great area for a garden, and I started digging, and I found a ton of rocks. So the previous owner had already had a beautiful garden with rocks, the big, huge limestone landscaping rocks. So I dug up these rocks and laid them back out. I mean, it's not really straight or pretty, but it's there. And so we've been using it to plant in. And since it's at the base of a hill, over the years, the hill has just eroded, and that's why the rocks were covered up, because dirt's just come down the hill. So the quality of the soil has been quite crappy since it's literally just hill runoff. But over the last, I think this will be our 5th year using it. Finally, I think we built up some pretty good soil. So I'm really excited this year to see how that area goes. So I've been doing some cleanup, and it gets a little more shade than I would like, but we're going to work with it, and we plan on getting some of the trees in that area trimmed to allow more sunlight. So anyways, I'm excited about that area. I'm also continually assessing what I call the look at only garden areas. We have 1, 2, 3, and again, same thing. Previous owners had created these spaces, so I just came in and pulled out all the dead stuff when we moved in, and have been slowly trying to make them something nice to look at. All 3 of them are pretty shady. They're under trees, so I had to learn a lot about shade plants and hostas and bleeding hearts and heucheras. And last year I planted daffodils in the fall, and those came up this year. Oh my gosh, they were gorgeous. But I'm continuously looking for ways to improve those areas, and I won't allow myself to cut those flowers. Those are just for looking at only. But probably the most exciting thing this spring, for me anyways, is that we have plans to totally redo our backyard. Our kids are getting older, so they don't really use it much to play in like they used to, and they're finally letting me take over the backyard with garden beds. So I've got plans to add 10 raised garden beds with 4 trellises. So we'll have a total of 5 trellises and 15 garden beds. And I think our space will be pretty maxed out, unless he lets me take over the front yard, which will be my next mission after that. Shh, don't tell him. I also realized that in my previous videos, and I mean, there's only 4, so I haven't been doing this long, but I realized that I haven't really introduced myself or talked about my motivations or really anything about myself. So hi, I'm Katie from Kansas. I am 44. I am happily married. It'll be 20 years in October, coming up this year. We have 4 wonderful children. I love them to death. They're very encouraging on this YouTube journey. I beat myself up over it, and they're like, "Mom, you can do it. Come on, Mom, you can do it." And so I know they're watching this, and I just want to say thank you. I work a full 40 hours, sometimes plus, job. I work those hours in between driving around the kids. I'm a taxi. Got the mom van, all the things that come along with kids. I've been there for almost 19 years, so quite a while. And over these 19 years, watching, teammates come and go, bosses come and go, life's changing, kind of realized that I was just watching, waiting, complacent, just going with the flow in front of me and never challenging myself to try anything different. I have always been too scared to try anything new. I have always sought after a different, slowed down life, one that didn't involve deadlines, calendar requests, and email notifications. One where I call my own shots, relying on myself and whomever I choose to be a part of it. I once chased a career in Mary Kay cosmetics, chasing that freedom. And it's hilarious because I have not owned a stick of mascara for probably 2 decades now. So that didn't really go anywhere. If I wasn't such a introverted, scared of everything, poop head, I probably would have chased this dream of freedom a long, long, long time ago. But I didn't, and so here we are. I find a glimpse of that freedom in our garden, in the magic of spring and new beginnings, in the magic of growing plants from seed. Our garden gives me something to manage, dream about, plan for me, for us. There are no deadlines given to me, if, if you don't count Mother Nature. I have no idea how, but I hope to someday make that the only thing I need to focus on during my hours. My major dream would be to become a flower farm and spend my days, my hours, my efforts growing flowers to share with anyone. It may end up only happening after I retire, which is 25, 25 more years? I don't know. I don't even want to think about that. But if I could do it a lot sooner, I know my soul would be a lot happier. Life is too short to not do what you want. So for this spring of 2025, I am finally allowing myself to acknowledge that the freedom that I'm seeking is actually possible and that I could count on myself to take care of myself. I'm not announcing any kind of, I'm not leaving my job. I'm not quitting. I'm not gonna throw myself into selling flowers now. I'm not ready for that. It just feels nice to allow myself to think that I could potentially do it and have that freedom to make my own decisions and not have the deadlines and the mission statements and the annual reviews and like just want to put some seeds in the dirt, grow some stuff, share some beautiful flowers with people, make them smile. I can't imagine anything better than that. So that is what spring means to me. Waking up, paying attention, new beginnings. So I know this was kind of rambly, but I was thinking about what spring means to me, and it seemed fitting on our average last frost date, which to me is springtime. It seemed fitting to just sit down and talk about what spring means to me and new beginnings and celebrate that I am finally allowing myself to think of new possibilities. And there's a wasp, and it got really close. And it's fine. They live here too. I don't know where he went. It's fine. Anyways, now I'm really rambling. I hope your spring is going well. If you're not to your average last fraught date, fraught date? Fraught date. Fraught. I hope your spring's going well. If you are not to your average last frost date yet, hang on, it's coming. We'll get planting soon, and we'll watch all the stuff grow together. And I'm gonna stop rambling and go inside. So I hope that you are having, or have had a wonderful day. And just as a reminder, whether it's flowers, veggies, or yourself, dude, just grow something. Bye. But over the years, when we moved in, she was elderly. Katie. And we have 4 wonderful, most of the time, children. Hi, love you. I can't talk. Need a drink.